Good morning, everyone. Well, it's a cold, chilly morning again with just a little bit of frost here on Brookdale Farm. But it's going to be a lovely day once the sun comes up. We've got blue skies and just a little bit of cloud around. So it's going to be another one of those perfect days. A couple of months ago, one of my uncles died, Philip House. He's the person who got me into farming. I used to spend a lot of time as a kid down on his farm in Ongerup, and he probably taught me half of what I know about farming. Anyway, he also had a couple of beehives, and we've just inherited them. So I picked them up last night. To transport bees, you want to lock them into their hives after dark, because all the bees stop working at night. They all go back into the hives. To block the hives off, we've just put some rag in and then some gaffer tape over the entrances. This hive's got a few that are coming out because one of the boxes slipped off a little bit. Always put a ratchet strap around the two hives to keep the two boxes together. But we're going to get these off the trailer now before the bees wake up too much more. Once we've got them off, we'll set them up and let them out, leave them a few hours before we'll take the tops off and see how much honey is in these hives at the moment. Okay, so we've got the hives off the trailer. We've got them in a little bit of a shady spot under some trees. Now, ideally, you always face the entry to the east so that they get the rising sun. I've got a few too many trees on the east here, really, so I may end up moving them a little bit so they get the morning sun a bit more. You want them as level as possible. These ones aren't quite level yet. And ideally, you want a bit of vegetation or something to give a bit of a rise on this side. That means when the bees come out, they fly up, and you can walk around the hives then, and the bees are most likely going to go over your head. But you should also never walk on the incoming outgoing path for the bees. That's when you're likely to get chased and stung. So the hives have been open for a little while now, and the bees have been happily flying in and out and exploring their new home. Both of these hives have two boxes on. They come in and out the front down the bottom here. We can just see a couple of them coming out now to go foraging. This bottom box has the queen in it, and this is where all the new bees are grown. And the top box, so there's a queen excluder in here, which is a metal cover with wire bars on it that are too small or too close together for the queen to get through. The queen is much bigger than the rest of the bees, so the worker bees can get up into the top box here, and this is where we get our honey from. Now when we take honey, we don't want to take too much because this is also their feed source, so we want to just take about half of the frames out and use the honey from them. I don't know if this has got enough honey to make it worth taking any out at the moment, so today we're just going to open up both hives, pull the frames out and have a look and see how much honey is in there. So the first thing we're going to do is just give the bees a little bit of smoke. This helps to calm them down and to stop them wanting to sting us quite so much. Okay, so this device here is the smoker. We fill this section here with dried leaves. The top opens up like that. We fill this with dried leaves in here. Now the best thing to use is a mixture of pine needles and dried lavender. This is what calms them down the most. I forgot to get any pine needles yesterday, so we're just going to be using ordinary leaves. That works fine too. Once we've got this lit, we close the top up, and there's these bellows on the back. When we squeeze them, it blows air in the bottom here, and the smoke comes out the top here. The best way to light it is with one of these. Otherwise you're mucking around with lighters and stuff like that. We don't need a hot fire in it, we just want a smouldering fire. So I'll give this first hive a little bit of smoke now, and then we'll open it up and see what's inside. So when we're smoking them, we want to give just a couple of puffs round the bottom there. I think my smoke has gone out. And then we'll take the top off here and we'll give them a couple of puffs in here. I need to grab a screwdriver and just break the seal on that one. So this thing here is our hive tool, and it's basically, imagine anything you do in a workshop with a tire lever, this thing is the equivalent for beekeeping. So we can use it to break the seal around the top here where they glue it shut. We can use the hook for pulling the frames out, or helping us to pull the frames out. This is also a scraper edge to scrape wax and stuff like that. So a very useful little tool. So because of the time of year it is at the moment, I'm not really expecting there to be much honey in the hives at the moment. They've just been through a cold winter where they will have eaten most of their food supplies down. But they have been in a lovely garden down in Kalamunda area with quite a few flowers out. So we'll just see how they've gone restocking their hive. The flowers around here are just starting to come out, so there'll be a good native food source soon. But also next door to us there's about 400 or 500 acres of lupins at the moment, and they're all in flower. So the bees should be able to get a nice lot of nectar out of the lupins. Okay, so on this frame we can see these bits here are all the capped cells. The rest of the cells are uncapped, and there's a bit of honey in the uncapped ones, but we need it to be more than 50% capped before it's worth taking any of the honey out. So this one's still got a long way to go before they fill it up. And we'll just turn it round. These are double-sided. This one's got no caps at all on it, so obviously they've been pretty hungry over winter and they've used a lot of their supplies up. I can also see this frame next to it doesn't have many caps on it either. So now if we look at this one is almost completely capped, and that frame weighs an awful lot more than that first one I pulled out. So we could take honey from that one. If we turn it round here, there's not that much capped on this side, but we don't want to take too much honey, so we won't, it's not worth extracting just that one frame. Here we have another one that's just about completely full. Actually, this is a really good one. This is almost full on both sides. So this one is not far off being ready to harvest. After pulling all the frames out from both hives, we've decided that there is nowhere near enough honey to harvest yet. So we're going to leave these for a while to build up their nectar and honey supplies before we do anything more with them. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video showing our new helpers that we've got on our farm. Thanks very much for watching. I'll keep you up to date with them when we start extracting the honey and things like that. And I hope to see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.